On this week's episode of A Win is a Win, we're diving headfirst into the adrenaline pumping showdown between USC and Colorado. The action was intense, and we're going to break it down, revealing what went awry for Colorado in the first half as USC scored to victory. But wait, there's more. Get ready for an exhilarating examination, literally an examination, of the Patriots' surprising loss to the Dallas Cowboys and the insinuating drama around the Patriots. And of course, we will fill you in on the intriguing private parts. Yes, I said private parts investigation involving Sauce Gardner. And that's not all. Stay tuned for the latest injury updates across the league and our expert safe bets and predictions to keep you ahead of the game. This episode is a roller coaster of excitement and analysis you don't want to miss. So sit down and get comfortable for A Win is a Win. Get your adrenaline pumping and let's go, y'all.
It's time for the Rookie Rundown.
Welcome back, y'all. Welcome back. My goodness, was week 4 packed with some unexpected outcomes. My Lord, we are going to get into all of that later. But first and foremost, like, subscribe, and share, and tell somebody to tell somebody else about what a win is a win. And so we have the rookies who are showing up and showing out and putting their feet in cement to say, we belong here and don't forget about what we've done so far. So let's get into this rookie rundown, y'all. Now, the first rookie that deserves a mention is Miami Dolphins running back De'Von Achane. Now, he had a slow start to his rookie campaign, but absolutely broke out last week against the Denver Broncos, and we all know how that historical loss went. The Dolphins as a team scored 70 points, with Achane responsible for 233 yards and 4 total touchdowns. He easily looked like one of the fastest players on the field and consistently ripped off major runs. Now, I don't think there's another rookie with a higher stock increase after week 3. However, hold on, Ohio State in the house. C.J. Stroud is close. Stroud, the Houston Texans quarterback, has his second straight game with at least 2 touchdowns. Week 3 saw him and the team pick up their first win of the season, putting the beat down on the Jaguars by a score of 37-17. Now, Stroud looked confident, calm, and collected in the pocket despite acting behind a less ideal offensive line. Now, it's not always being easy for a Buckeye quarterback to succeed in the NFL level, though Stroud is making people believe otherwise early on in his professional career. Then finally, I'm saving the best for last. Yep, we need to spend some time talking about Zay Flowers. The Baltimore Ravens pass catcher is arguably the best wide receiver that Lamar Jackson has had throughout his NFL career. Now, Flowers has drawn a whopping 32% target share in this offense, racking up at least 10 targets in 2 of his 3 games played. Now, in fact, Flowers has already put up a game in which he received 2 or more targets than the rest of the wideouts combined. Now, Flowers is dealing with a little minor injury right now at the moment, but even if he missed week 5, it's hard to see any other wide receiver on the roster that could possibly dethrone him. So lots and lots of showing for these rookies, and they're putting their feet in concrete and saying, okay, guys, we're making a little bit of noise here. We're trying to prove that we belong. So interesting to see what's going to happen in week 5, if they're going to keep up the momentum, or do we have some other star rookies that are going to pop out and show out. So we'll see. And while you're thinking about the rookie rundown and how these players panned out, why don't you go ahead over to the comment section for a few minutes? Leave me a comment on which rookies you thought did the best this week. I may have missed some and you may have got some, and we collectively could put them together. Leave me a comment, y'all. Okay? We're going to come back to Campus Gridiron in a minute, talk about what went wrong and what went right for the Buffaloes. We'll be right back, y'all.
Let's see what's up with our Campus Gridiron.
Week 5 is in the books for college football. Yes, now listen, Week 5 didn't quite deliver the drama of Week 4. Notre Dame and Duke notwithstanding, but it tried. Now, you have 2 top 10 teams, the Bulldogs and the Trojans, who avoided road upsets, while another Ducks overcame a sluggish start and got the W over Stanford. And while it was a bye week for some of the country's top college football teams, you have Florida State, Ohio State, North Carolina, and Miami. It also was a bye week, as in goodbye, for a few unbeaten teams attempting to keep the top 25 within their grasp. Now, Kansas had hoped to climb, but was drilled by Texas, and Syracuse was seeking to get a 5-0 and earn a spot in the rankings, but they lost by 17 to Clemson. Now, Duke's last-minute loss to Notre Dame kept the Blue Devils from perfection, but not out of the top 25. So, we're going to take a minute and jump into those top 25 in a minute, but the big noon kickoff was set yet again. Where? In Boulder. Now, the kickoff game of the week featured the Buffaloes for the 3rd time this season, but unfortunately, it didn't go so well for the 2nd consecutive week. Now, we all got to sit back and watch the Buffaloes get hammered by Oregon last weekend without Travis Hunter in the lineup due to his obvious injury. Schedule makers didn't give them any favors, y'all, by providing them with the USC matchup in the ensuing week. Now, Colorado fared much better, but fell short in a high-scoring 48-41 contest that saw Caleb Williams throw for 6 TDs. Now, the Buffaloes are vastly better than what we've seen from them in the past few years and are likely to get yet another big noon game this season. However, this wasn't the best football that they could play, and Hunter not being out there definitely left a hole, but both offensively and defensively. Now, I do believe that we all know the Buffaloes have some rebuilding to do, and we know that they were not going to come out and be the 13-0 or completely undefeated team, the complete opposite as they were last year. We knew that. But with the record that they have right now, and the football program that Deion is actively building, I'll give them until next year, and you will see a different ball club coming out of that locker room next year, if we don't already see vast improvements throughout the rest of this year. Think about it. If you watched the game, you saw an entirely different team come back out on that field in the second half. Completely different team. And so we'll keep our eyes on those Buffaloes and see what Deion has up his sleeve. Now, let's get to this top 25. Now, topping off the list, they are holding their record, the Bulldogs. They are still undefeated at 5-0. Dropping down to number 2, we have the Wolverines, who are also undefeated at 5-0. Now, the Longhorns are sitting at number 3, who's also defeated, 5-0. At number 4, we're going out to Florida State, and they are undefeated at 4-0. Rounding out number 5, top 5, we have the Washington Huskies at 5-0, and Ohio State Buckeyes, baby, still undefeated 4-0 with the bye week this past week. Now we have Penn State at 5-0, undefeated. Number 8, the Ducks 5-0. The Trojans are also undefeated at 5-0. The Roll Tide are now dropped down to 4-1. Number 11, you have the Fighting Irish are now 5-1. At number 12, you have Washington State at 4-0. Those Sooners are undefeated at 5-0. Now you have the Beavers dropped to 4-1, putting them at number 14. The Hurricanes are undefeated at number 15. Ole Miss is 4-1, sitting at number 16. The Tar Heels are undefeated at number 17, and Utah drops to 4-1, putting them at number 18. Duke drops with their loss this past weekend, put them at 4-1, sitting at number 19. Those Volunteers are 4-1 at number 20. Wildcats are still undefeated in Kentucky, sitting at number 21. Fresno State 5-0, undefeated at number 22. Louisville Cardinals 5-0, sitting at number 23. The Missouri Tigers are also undefeated 5-0, sitting at number 24. And to round out the top 25, Texas A&M is sitting at 4-1. And so we are coming into week 6. Lots of games coming up this week. Seeing where your team falls, seeing what your players are doing, fantasy football, bets, all of the action is going down. Listen, noon football, Ohio State this Saturday. We'll be watching, and in BetMasters, I'll give you a little preview of what I plan to put in for this week's college football bets. All right, so next up, we are going to get into all of the NFL sports news action and see what went down with Sauce Gardner and this private parts investigation, because I want to know, just like y'all, what's going on here, Sauce? What happened? We'll be right back, y'all.
Let's get into the sports news.
Well, I believe the song goes, ice me out, ice me out, ice me out. I believe that's how the song goes, but that is exactly what Sauce Gardner had to do, was ice up. Now, the Jets cornerback accused the New England Patriots QB Mac Jones of a not-so-nice thing, hitting him in the private parts during New York's 15-10 loss at MetLife Stadium in Week 3. Now, it happened on a fourth quarter sneak by Jones, who got stuffed by safety Jordan Whitehead and slammed down by linebacker C.J. Mosley. Now, after the play, Gardner said Jones bumped into him. Now, if you watch the replay showed Gardner was clearly angered by something that happened, and he pushed Jones to the ground and appeared to be in a lot of pain. Now, Sauce was quoted by saying he got tackled. He had reached his hand up to try, get me to help him up or something, and I just moved his hand out the way. Then when he gets up, he just comes up like, good job, But while he said that, he hits me in my private parts. You know what I'm saying? Now, Gardner had a small smile on his face while he recounted the incident and was also quoted saying, "I definitely wasn't expecting that, but there's a first time for everything." Now, afterwards, Jones, who had been accused in the past of cheap shots, said he was getting up after a hard tackle on a QB sneak and was saying good job to the defense. He said the area where he made contact with Sauce was unintentional. Well, no penalties were called on the play, which prompted the NFL to start an investigation to ensure that there was no intentional foul play during that down. So Sauce was quoted, "Man, my stomach hurt a little bit. You know what I mean? I don't even know what to say. All I just got to do is just ice it up, I guess. It's like he's trying to keep me from having kids in the future, man. He tripping." So we will actually see what the NFL comes up with as far as a outcome of sorts from this investigation. Nothing has been reported yet. Now, in other news around the NFL, the Las Vegas Raiders just announced that they will be releasing the veteran star pass rusher Chandler Jones. I mean, you would have to be blindfolded walking down a dark street to have not seen that coming. Now, Jones was considered a premier edge rusher in the league not long ago, but this season has been tough for him, and we're not talking about on the football field. Now, Jones recently stirred up a lot of drama with odd social media posts and live streams. Now, many thought it could be a mental health issue, though it was brushed off as he continued to go on certain rants. However, this past week, he was recently arrested and was on live stream crying in the camera yet again. The Raiders grew incredibly concerned and have since cut ties. Now, I'm sure there is still more to discuss on this issue, and he'll hopefully be getting the help he needs in the immediate future, should it be a mental health issue. Now, in other more positive news, the Bills defensive back D. Ham will be active for the first time since he suffered cardiac arrest, which is commotio cordis. Now, Hamlin might not be on the field, though he will be in full uniform and ready to play when the Miami Dolphins head down to face off with them. Now, Hamlin returning to the field in any way is a miracle considering the situation that so many people had to watch in horror and shock. It'd be wonderful to see him make his way back out there to compete in the sport that he loves incredibly so much. So, most importantly, it is about your health and your safety first before you get back out there on the field. But would be nice to see D. Ham back out there on the field. Now, lastly, we should mention the Los Angeles Rams inked a tight end deal with their tight end Tyler Higbee to a contract extension. Now, Higbee signed a 2-year, $27 million extension with the team, with $17 million being guaranteed up front. Now, he's not the flashiest or most skilled tight end in the league, though Higbee has a reputation of just getting the job done down there in Los Angeles. Plus, he's got great chemistry with veteran quarterback Matthew Stafford and has won a Super Bowl with them as well. Now, it's a well-deserved payday for the tight end, keeping him around for the foreseeable future. So, nice paycheck there for Higbee. Hope he's comfortable with the terms of his contract extension. I feel like that's well deserved and long overdue. And I just wanted to touch on the actual audacity of the NFL. My goodness, pulling out my hair, clenching my teeth, probably throwing a Nerf football at the wall. Why on earth would you put 4-0-3 teams to play against each other on the same day? You know what, Roger Goodell, enough is enough, okay? Enough with the shenanigans already. That was who approved it? I want to know. Somebody get in contact with the NFL front office for me and tell them that Nadira wants to speak to you, and preferably on a Win is a Win podcast. Who thought up this schedule? Who thought to put 4-0-3 teams on to play each other all on the same day. Now, and I have no words. I have no words. It's almost like they're saying, listen, now we've had enough. Somebody out of this 4-game situation here is going to come out with a win some type of way. Let's get this going. But no, The NFL, y'all ain't slick. We saw what you were doing. I want to know who approved it. Okay? Now, moving along. Next up is our injury report. And we'll see exactly what happened to the Cleveland Browns and Njoku. He was out, and for a very odd reason. So we'll tackle that in the injury report, y'all. We'll be right back. Hold on. Wait a minute, Nadir. Wait now before you get into the injury report. What about Monday Night Football? All right. I got you. Well, as we know, the Seahawks will take on the New York Giants in Monday Night Football. Now, Saquon Barkley isn't anticipated to play, which isn't a surprise given his ankle sprain. Now, this leaves Daniel Jones with limited talent surrounding him outside of Darren Waller. And to make things worse, they're missing multiple offensive linemen, their biggest area of concern already. Now, it could cause the Seattle defense to swarm early, and New York can't afford to fall into a deficit. After all, Geno Smith and company just scored 37 points in back-to-back games. Now, if the Giants let the Seahawks get into rhythm early, this game might be over real quick. Now, Jones will have to start off fast because Seattle will not wait around. So we will see what goes down in Monday Night Football, and I'm going to give you my picks for Monday Night Football coming up in my favorite segment, Bet Masters. But before we get all the way over there into that, we still got to get through these injuries. So we'll be right back, y'all.
Who's hurt? Who's ready to go? Time for the injury report.
All right. Now let's quickly dive into some injuries across the league here. Now, this is the first that the Cleveland Browns could be without their tight end, Njoku. It was reported that he suffered burns on his face and arms over a household incident and that he's questionable to play. Now, the report claims that it could have been a fireplace in his home, but more details need to come out before we can say anything definitive. Moving forward, of course, we know Saquon Barkley of the Giants is likely to miss their game with the Seahawks on Monday, but he's a game-time decision with the ankle sprain he suffered a few weeks ago. But the only reason he's not ruled out yet is because the play, of course, on Monday night. If there were a Sunday game, he'd be ruled out. And we'll see if he can go on Monday, though I really doubt it. Along with Saquon comes Austin Eckler. The Los Angeles Chargers running back is expected to miss his third game in a row with an ankle injury as well. Now, it's odds that it is causing him to miss this much time, though maybe it has something to do with not being a contract extension in the offseason. Either way, he won't be out there against the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, lastly, we got Deebo Samuels. Now, the San Francisco 49ers wideout is questionable to play with the rib and knee injury. Neither sounds severe, though the team could opt to hold him out if they feel they have a competitive advantage over the Arizona Cardinals with or without him, hoping that they could let him rest and get well and get a win regardless would be ideal without him, but we'll have to wait and see what happens this Sunday. So lots going on around the league with injuries, but we'll see who can get over what and comes back ready to get some ball going. All right. We're going to come right back with my favorite segment, Bet Masters. Yes, we are going to go over all of the picks this week. All right. We'll be right back, y'all.
It's a bet. Time for Bet Masters.
All right. It's time for my favorite segment, and you guys know what it is. Say it with me. Bet Masters. Yes, it is time to go over some great picks. So let's jump right into it. Now, one great pick that I like this week is the Browns to beat the Baltimore Ravens. The spread has the Browns favored by a point, and they seem like the better team overall. Baltimore just underperformed against the Indianapolis Colts and has a plethora of injuries that they'll have to play through. Not to mention that they're on the road here, so that can mean a difference as well. Meanwhile, Cleveland has one of the best defenses in the league and offense that could get it clicking sooner rather than later. They could take this as a divisional matchup because it's always going to be some bad blood between those Ravens, for obvious reasons, and the Browns, thanks to the Modell family. Moving along. Another game that I like is the Patriots and the Cowboys. Now, the Patriots are 7-point dogs in this matchup, and I feel like they will cover the spread even if they don't end up winning. It's hard to see them losing by more than a touchdown considering how great their own defense is, especially when you factor in the Dallas just lost to double digits to the Arizona Cardinals and Joshua Dobbs. New England can keep it close at least and cover the spread. Now, finally, I'll take the Kansas City Chiefs and the New York Jets. Well, I'm going to take the Chiefs with confidence despite being favored by 7.5 points. Kansas City is just too dominant to hold down for very long, and the Jets' offense hasn't proven anything under Zach Wilson. Nothing at all. They'll likely score around 10 points again this week, and the Chiefs will tire the Jets' defense out and pour over about 20 by the time the game ends. So those would be my bets. And Monday Night Football, I'm going with the dog this week, and I am going to take the Giants. I believe they were at 6.5 point dog. So I'm going to bet the dog this week, y'all, and see what happens. All right. That's going to wrap it up for this week's episode of A Win is a Win. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, tell your friends to tell their friends, and hopefully they'll tell their friends to do what? Subscribe to A Win is a Win, and let's grow the family, y'all. Until the next episode, next week with all the action, I'm going to say peace.